Welcome back, everyone. Let's go and take a look at the iPhone 11 Pro and compare it against the iPhone 12 and see which specific phone you should go and pick up. Should you pick up the flagship of 2019 or pick up the more budget offering, I would say, for 2020? Now, if you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely tell that both these phones are a little bit different. The iPhone 12 has a little bit of a bigger panel versus the iPhone 11 Pro's 5.8-inch Super Retina XDR OLED panel, I believe it was, or Super Retina XDR OLED, whatever it was. The 5.8-inch panel on the iPhone 11 Pro is still very good. I used this phone from 2019 to 2020, and I had a great time with it. I think the panel is great. A notch up top is not that bad, and I definitely do tell you the screen on this thing still looks very, very beautiful. The iPhone 12 has a little bit bigger 6.1-inch panel, and they both are very good still. I don't really have too much to complain about either or. Is the iPhone 12's panel better? I don't know if it's better. They're both, like I said, kind of the same thing, but I do think the iPhone 12's panel looks really good in this year, and I still think this thing holds up very, very well for sure. Now, in terms of thinness and thickness, I would definitely tell you the iPhone 12 seems to be a little bit thinner, but I don't know, they both are kind of the same thing. Like the iPhone 11 Pro looks thicker, but the iPhone 12 feels a little bit thinner, but I guess because of the flat side here, it feels a little different. But you do have the metallic side on the iPhone 11 Pro that looks really, really good as well. And on the back, we have a little bit of a different setup. The iPhone 11 Pro has this frosted glass back, which looks very, very good, and the triple camera setup up top, where the iPhone 12 has the standard glass back with a dual camera setup. So with these types of phones, they both look really good, and I don't really think there's too much to complain about either or, but I will say with something like the iPhone 11 Pro phone, I mean, this one feels much more premium, and that is probably the best thing going for it, is when you have a phone that feels as premium as the 11 Pro, I mean, that thing theoretically could last much longer than most people expect, in my opinion. With the iPhone 12's design, it has the flat sides, but it has a dual camera setup and it has the standard glass back. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the 11 Pro definitely feels more premium, but the iPhone 12 looks a little bit more modern in my opinion. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. In terms of software longevity, this is where I'll definitely tell you something like the iPhone 12 is probably going to be the better phone here. This thing has the higher potential of outlasting the iPhone 11 Pro. There are still chances where the 11 Pro may still outbeat or still last as long as the iPhone 12, who knows, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I feel like the iPhone 12 is probably going to outlast the iPhone 11 Pro, but the 11 Pro is still going to be supported for quite a bit of time, and with all the recent iOS 16 features that came out, the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 12 basically got the same amount of features. There weren't really any crazy features that were limited on the 11 Pro, which was good, so for the most part, that's a pretty big asset for something like the iPhone 11 Pro this year. So that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go into a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone 11 Pro has that Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 12 has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM as well. So let's go and see which one is the faster one between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background as you guys can tell, so let's get into it. So phone calls 3, 2, 1, and iPhone 12 is here, 11 Pro is here, pretty much the same thing. Music 3, 2, 1. And I think they're on different panels, so we're just going to go and let this one slide as well. So their app stores 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 seemed to be a little bit faster there. The iPhone 11 Pro a little bit behind. Scrolling through, let's see if there's a difference, and I don't think there's going to be. Let's just go and click into here. Both kind of the same, but the 12 was faster to load into it. Let's go and get into their settings, 3, 2, 1. Both two different panels, so we'll let that one slide. Apple TV, 3, 2, 1. iPhone 11 Pro was actually the faster one there, surprisingly. Let's go into podcast, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 was a faster one there. Let's go and get into clock, 3, 2, 1. The same thing. Mail, 3, 2, 1. I think the 12 was the faster one there. Camera, 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing too. Photos, 3, 2, 1. I think the 12 was like slightly faster, but it was still very, very close. And this page, I don't think we have anything, but we do have a bunch of these third-party applications we can go and test out. So Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the iPhone 12 slightly faster here. They both had the same downloading content panel, everything like that. So there shouldn't have been an issue or at least a big difference there. And we can see the iPhone 12 was quite a bit faster there for sure. Hopping out of this specific application, let's go and get into Snake First Blocks, 3, 2, 1. iPhone 12 is faster, iPhone 11 Pro a little bit behind. Let's go and get into Stack, 3, 2, 1. iPhone 12 was the faster one there. Let's go and get into Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the iPhone 12 was the faster one. iPhone 11 Pro a little bit behind. Let's go and get into Twitter. 3, 2, 1. And iPhone 12 again is the faster one. Facebook. 3, 2, 1. And that one covers it up there. And we can go and end it off with something like thank you 3, 2, 1. But I think we've consistently seen that the iPhone 12 was pretty much the faster one every single time, which I think is really good. Having a phone like something like the iPhone 12 for it not being like the most expensive phone of 2020. I mean, that's a pretty good thing for it being as fast as it is compared to the flagship of the previous year. So I think that's kind of how it sums up. I mean, I think both these phones, like I said, are great, but the iPhone 12 is probably the faster one when it comes down to it. But this also brings up a really good point for the cameras. Honestly, even though the iPhone 12 is the faster phone, the iPhone 11 Pro, in my opinion, has the better camera here, which is actually very interesting. So with something like the iPhone 11 Pro, you're getting that triple camera setup. You're getting a wide, ultra-wide, and telephoto lens, where the iPhone 12 has that standard wide and ultra-wide sensor. Now with the iPhone 11 Pro, personally, I feel like this camera is still very good for the most part. This camera, 4K at 60 on the front and the back on both of them, and these cameras can do everything you throw at them. They're very solid. They have portrait mode, video mode, everything you want. But the best thing about the iPhone 11 Pro is that it does have that telephoto lens, so it allows you to zoom in a ton. You can also still zoom out the same on both, but having that ability of zooming in a lot is actually really cool, and I definitely do love that capability for sure. Now with something like the iPhone 12, this is still a very solid camera as well, and I feel like I mentioned before, Apple did a great job with this lens. Now when you actually look at this camera, I think this is a solid camera too. It's not really like worse or better than the 11 Pro, but it's just missing that telephoto lens. So it just matters up to you. Do you depend on that telephoto lens? Do you like zooming in a lot? If that's something you're into, then obviously something like the iPhone 11 Pro is probably the better one for you. But I still think the iPhone 12 has a really solid camera inside of it. The video mode is awesome, portrait mode is really cool, but both these phones support almost the exact same things. So when I look at both these cameras, I think they're both great. I think the iPhone 11 Pro has a set up just because of that, telephoto lens, but this camera also has a few things up its sleeves too, so you can't really you can't really look at them like a crazy big difference there. But this kind of brings us to the end, and to be honest, I kind of do think that the iPhone 12 is probably the better phone overall. I do have some issues with the 12 that I mentioned before. I mean, things like battery health issues I've had here and there, but I have seen that the iPhone 11 Pro is a cheaper phone or around the same price as the iPhone 12 is in like the used market. So I would probably side for the iPhone 12. If you're going to go and buy a brand new phone, you really only have the iPhone 12 as an option. But the iPhone 11 Pro is such a solid phone that I love a lot, and you can't really go wrong here. I think this is a great phone too, and I think this one has some advantages over the iPhone 12. You have a bigger size battery here, you have kind of a better display in some areas, better build quality, better type of camera setup in my opinion. But I still think the iPhone 12, when I look at this phone, I mean, it was faster, it's going to last longer, so it's starting to appear like a better deal. But if you have an 11 Pro, you're planning on getting this phone, you can't really go wrong with this one either. So that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that means so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.